Now, Jeff, you have a session coming up here at Email Summit 2014, List Building, Why Proprietary Audience Development is Essential to Content Marketing. Can you give us a little taste about what your session is going to be about?
Yes, so I'm not going to talk about list building. In fact, I'm actually going to attack the whole notion of lists.
Okay.
So I think I've been around the Sherpa conference since its inception 9 years ago, and it's been interesting to watch the growth of the industry, but I think that email marketers tend to be kind of underappreciated in their organizations, in my mind, underpromoted, underpaid for the value that they deliver. And I think part of that is the language that we choose to communicate the value that we bring to executives. So I want to transform the way that we're talking about what we do from lists to talking about asset development and the assets that we actually create in these audiences, these push-button direct audiences that we allow our organizations to communicate with.
And you mentioned that you've been a part of Email Summit for quite a while now. What keeps bringing you back? What's so great about Email Summit?
Well, what I've always enjoyed since its inception with Marketing Sherpa, I was at an agency and then I became president of an agency, it was one of the few, if not the only voice in kind of the media market that really focused on results and really focused on understanding the story from the practitioner's standpoint. There are a lot of publications out there that use pretty self-aggrandizing headlines to tout really big results, and then you dig under the surface and all they're talking about are opens or likes or follows. What I've liked about Sherpa and what I like about this conference is it brings together people who are prying and getting down to that results-driven side of things, so that you're actually talking about, what's the actual value that I'm creating for my organization, not just the fluff and the hype and all of that.
Fantastic. We're so glad that you keep on coming
Yeah, I
back.
appreciate the invites.
And of course, we're only in February right now, but if you could kind of look forward and say, okay, this is going to be a trend for email marketing in 2014, what would you say it's going to be?
So I think this is the year where email marketing begins to inherit the earth, if only we have kind of the gumption to take the reins. Because if you look at what's happening in social, the executives are beginning to demand more from those channels. And email marketers understand that. They've fought those battles. They used to be the shiny object in the marketing fold, and then they went through kind of the wilderness of being the redheaded stepchild, underappreciated, all of those things I mentioned before. So as social goes through these same things, the email marketers have an opportunity to kind of rise up and say, hey, we've seen this movie before, let's focus on the right activities. And the right activities that my book is about is really, let's focus on proprietary audience development. So let's start being channel agnostic first. What are our ultimate goals as a marketing organization, right? We want to drive sales, and then there are more specific goals. Those aren't channel specific. They only become channel specific because we're siloed in our responsibilities, like I'm email, you're mobile, you're social. So I think if email marketers can begin to think about the value they bring and apply it in that channel agnostic fashion, they can begin to help some of their peers and build connections that break down those siloed walls and begin to build the audiences as assets, which is really kind of my soapbox this year, is to get people to understand that, so that again, you're communicating to your CEO, your CFO, the value you bring to the organization.
So more or less that integration.
I think so. I think that's going to be huge. And if you just look at the consolidation in our marketplace, I mean, ExactTarget acquired by Salesforce, other folks being acquired by Oracle and IBM, et cetera. The vision is everybody's pushing towards that single marketing platform, that marketing dashboard. But the technology is only as good as the people who implement it. So the next step is to rethink how your marketing organization is structured. And for email marketers who are very used to being called on the mat about what is the value you're delivering, that is a skill set that they should really appreciate and take advantage of, because there are a lot of their peers who have not been called on the mat in that way. So I think there's an opportunity here to be leaders in our marketing organizations.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for speaking at this year's event and for joining us in the Media Center.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.